third period algebra class, Mrs. Baker, and I'm sitting there and like cops come in with guns and like arrest me right in the same class. And I was gone for like 60 days to jail.
Jesse James' life began in Linwood, California on April 19, 1969. From the very beginning, his name carried a sense of danger and mystery, linking him to the infamous outlaw of the 19th century. People often wonder if he was truly related to the original Jesse James, who robbed trains and inspired countless stories, but the James Preservation Trust never received proof from him. Despite the lack of evidence, Jesse embraced the name with pride. It shaped his identity and fueled a confidence that would later drive him to take risks and create a life on his own terms. His childhood in Riverside, California, was filled with curiosity, mischief, and a love for mechanics. After his parents split, Jesse and his sister moved in with their father, who ran a warehouse filled with motorcycle parts and antiques. The environment was noisy, greasy, and full of life, giving Jesse endless opportunities to explore and learn about metal and machinery. By the age of 7, he was riding his first mini bike, and by high school, he was already bending pipes and experimenting with welding in his mother's garage. Each spark, each failed attempt, pushed him closer to a future that combined art, mechanics, and daring creativity. Even though he considered football for a time, injuries forced him to leave sports behind. And this redirection of energy ultimately led him toward the world of motorcycles, where he would make his mark. That Jesse's path from childhood tinker to custom motorcycle builder was full of twists. After leaving football behind, he worked as a bodyguard for famous bands like Slayer, Glenn Danzig, and Soundgarden. This work demanded strength and courage, but a shoulder injury ended that career as well. Returning to his true passion, he focused on motorcycles, creating a small workspace in his mother's garage in 1992. It was a humble beginning of what would later become West Coast Choppers. At first, progress was slow and finances were tight. Jesse often worked through the night, sleeping on the floor of his garage to ensure each bike met his high standards. By 1994, he had a small team, and the business gradually grew. The turning point came in 1997, when a Discovery Channel documentary featured his work. Suddenly, people across America were captivated by his raw, aggressive style. His bikes were unlike anything else on the market, stripped of unnecessary chrome, stretched, muscular, and built for real riders. West Coast Choppers became known not just for bikes, but for an attitude, a symbol of rebellion and individuality that appealed to celebrities, athletes, and motorcycle enthusiasts alike. By 2001, the workshop employed over 50 people, and Jesse's stubborn determination had turned a garage into a booming enterprise. His rise was fueled not only by skill, but by a relentless work ethic that refused to accept shortcuts or mediocrity. The early 2000s brought Jesse James fame beyond the motorcycle world. Television programs like Motorcycle Mania and Monster Garage made him a household name. Millions of viewers tuned in weekly to watch his chaotic, inventive process, turning ordinary vehicles into wild machines. Some builds were shocking, like a PT Cruiser turned into a chipper or a Mustang converted into a lawn mower. Jesse's perfectionism, temper, and willingness to destroy anything that didn't meet his standards made every episode unpredictable and thrilling. At the same time, he launched Pay Up Sucker Productions and filmed projects such as Iraq Confidential, showing a more serious side of himself. These shows demonstrated not just his skill as a builder, but his personality, stubborn, daring, and unafraid to push limits. His work ethic remained intense, with long hours in the garage, managing employees, and balancing creative ambition with the demands of television. The public adored his chaotic genius, while Jesse quietly balanced the pressures of fame, the challenges of running a business, and the personal sacrifices that came with his high-profile lifestyle. West Coast Chopper's success was not only about the motorcycles themselves, but also about the brand Jesse built around them. Each bike was custom-made, with hand-shaped frames and tanks, reflecting a rare level of craftsmanship. Jesse intentionally limited production to around 20 bikes per year, with prices ranging from $60,000 to $150,000, creating scarcity and exclusivity. Celebrity clients like Shaquille O'Neal, Kid Rock, Keanu Reeves, and Ty Law became symbols of the brand's allure, while his bikes gained recognition as modern art, even attracting interest from the Guggenheim Museum. Jesse refused to display them statically, insisting that his creations belonged on the road, alive and in motion. Meanwhile, the business side of West Coast Choppers extended into merchandise, which became a surprisingly powerful part of the empire. T-shirts, sneakers, and belt buckles featuring the cross logo were sold in Walmart stores nationwide, generating millions in revenue. The iconic logo, often mistaken for an iron cross, became a symbol far beyond motorcycles, representing rebellion, craftsmanship, and lifestyle. Merchandise eventually outpaced bike sales, allowing the company to continue operations despite the high cost of building each bike, demonstrating Jesse's understanding of branding as a powerful engine for growth. Even with fame and business success, Jesse James' personal life remained complicated and often tumultuous. His first marriage to Carla James lasted 11 years and produced 2 children, but remained mostly private, shrouded in silence. After their divorce, he married Janine Linda Mulder, an adult film star, in 2002. Their relationship was intense and brief, resulting in the birth of a daughter, Sunny, and a custody battle filled with accusations of neglect, drug use, and unstable behavior. Public scrutiny intensified, and conflicts only escalated when Janine went to prison for tax evasion in 2009. Jesse took full custody of Sunny, navigating the challenges of parenting under constant media attention. The stress of public life was magnified by legal battles and personal turmoil, revealing a man balancing intense work pressures with deeply private family struggles. Through it all, Jesse's identity as a builder, celebrity, and father remained intertwined, highlighting the complex reality behind the myth of the outlaw image he cultivated. Perhaps the most public and scrutinized chapter of Jesse James' personal life came with his relationship with Sandra Bullock. They met in 2003 and married in 2005, merging Hollywood celebrity with Jesse's gritty custom motorcycle world. The marriage initially appeared idyllic, blending family life with fame. However, in 2010, a scandal erupted when a 2004 photo of Jesse in Nazi regalia surfaced, shocking the public and straining the relationship. Their marriage ended in a widely publicized and humiliating divorce. Around the same time, Jesse checked into rehab while facing claims from 19 women, signaling the collapse of his carefully built public persona. West Coast Choppers closed after 18 years, marking the end of an era in both his career and personal life. Despite the downfall, Jesse's story remains one of ambition, creativity, and a relentless drive to shape both machines and the world around him, leaving a legacy that blends craftsmanship, chaos, and cultural influence. Jesse James' journey illustrates the challenges of balancing genius with chaos. He transformed a small garage in Riverside into a brand recognized worldwide, blending artistry, mechanics, and media savvy. His work on television captured the imagination of millions, while his motorcycles and merchandise left an enduring mark on popular culture. At the same time, personal struggles, legal battles, and public scandals revealed the human side of a man often mythologized as larger than life. From the sparks of childhood in a warehouse full of motorcycle parts to the heights of fame and the depths of scandal, Jesse's life is a story of risk, creativity, and the complicated interplay between personal ambition and public perception. His legacy is not only the motorcycles he built, but the image he crafted, showing that sometimes the most powerful creations are the ones that inspire belief and emotion long after the machines themselves have rolled off the shop floor. Jesse James was born on April 19, 1969, in Linwood, California, with a name that immediately sparked curiosity. People often speculated whether he was related to the original outlaw Jesse James, who robbed trains in the 1800s. While the James Preservation Trust requested proof, none was ever provided. Despite the lack of verification, Jesse embraced the legend, letting it shape his identity. From a young age, he displayed a fascination with machines and chaos. His childhood in Riverside was noisy, messy, and full of metal, with his father's warehouse filled with motorcycle parts and antiques. Jesse and his sister Julie spent hours exploring the warehouse, learning how metal worked, and experimenting with mini bikes. By age 7, he was already riding, and by high school, he was bending pipes and welding makeshift exhausts. Each spark, mistake, and success pushed him closer to a life built around skill, creativity, and risk. Even when he briefly pursued football, injuries redirected his energy toward mechanics, setting the stage for his future as a legendary builder. Jesse's early path was marked by ambition and setbacks. Football seemed like a promising career, and he gave it his all at Liera High School and later at Riverside City College. Coaches remembered him as tough and determined, but two major injuries ended his athletic pursuits. This forced Jesse to redirect his energy, and he gravitated back to the world of machines, where he had already learned so much as a child. In the early 1990s, he worked as a bodyguard for bands like Slayer, Glenn Danzig, and Soundgarden. The job was demanding and exciting, but a shoulder injury once again closed that chapter. With sports and security work behind him, Jesse found his true path, motorcycles. In 1992, he set up a small workspace in his mother's garage and started what would later become West Coast Choppers. The early days were difficult, long nights, little money, and endless trial and error. But Jesse's persistence and talent soon began to pay off. His hands-on approach to every build and refusal to compromise on quality laid the foundation for a brand that would captivate the world. That Jesse's Garage was a birthplace of West Coast Choppers, which officially took shape in 1992. At first, he worked alone, often sleeping on the floor to meet deadlines and perfect his creations. By 1994, he had gathered a small team, and the brand slowly gained traction. His break came in 1997, when a Discovery Channel documentary featured his workshop. Suddenly, people were fascinated by his stripped-down, muscular motorcycles that defied mainstream trends. By 2001, the workshop employed over 50 people, and Jesse's reputation grew. His bikes were recognized instantly, not flashy but raw and fearless, made for riders who value craft over popularity. This exclusivity, paired with high-quality construction, helped West Coast Choppers rise from a small garage into a cultural phenomenon. Jesse's relentless work ethic, combined with his unique style, made his motorcycles a symbol of rebellion, craftsmanship, and individuality, attracting both celebrities and everyday enthusiasts. The 2000s brought Jesse James national recognition through television. Shows like Motorcycle Mania and Monster Garage made him a household name. Viewers were captivated by his chaotic yet brilliant approach, watching ordinary vehicles transform into extraordinary machines in just 7 days. Explosions, crushed metal, and creative ingenuity became his signature. He was strict, demanding, and sometimes unpredictable, willing to destroy anything that didn't meet his standards, but that intensity drew millions of viewers. He also launched Pay Up Sucker Productions and filmed The Rock Confidential in 2006, showcasing his serious side. While his television persona appeared wild and chaotic, it was grounded in skill, determination, and a deep understanding of mechanics. This period cemented his reputation as an innovator, combining artistry, risk-taking, and a larger-than-life personality that audiences couldn't ignore. That Jesse's success wasn't just in television. It was in the meticulous craftsmanship of his bikes. Each motorcycle was hand-shaped, customized for individual clients, and intentionally limited to about 20 per year. Prices ranged from $60,000 to $150,000, reflecting the rarity and skill involved. Celebrity clients, including Shaquille O'Neal, Kid Rock, Keanu Reeves, and Ty Law, amplified the brand's visibility. Jesse refused offers from the art world, insisting that his creations belonged on the road, alive and in motion. Simultaneously, West Coast Choppers expanded into merchandise. T-shirts, belt buckles, and sneakers featuring the iconic Cross logo sold nationwide, generating millions of dollars. The logo became a symbol beyond motorcycles, representing rebellion, skill, and lifestyle. Merchandise revenue often surpassed bike sales, demonstrating Jesse's understanding of branding and the power of identity, which kept the company thriving even when individual bikes were costly to produce. While his professional life soared, Jesse's personal life remained complex. His first marriage to Carla James lasted 11 years, producing 2 children, Jesse Jr. and Chandler, yet remained largely private. After their divorce in 2002, he married Janine Lindemulder, an adult film star. Their relationship was intense, resulting in the birth of a daughter, Sunny, and a highly publicized custody battle. Accusations of neglect, drug use, and instability surrounded the case, adding stress and media attention to his already chaotic life. Janine later served time in prison for tax evasion, at which point Jesse assumed full custody. These struggles revealed a side of Jesse rarely seen by the public, a man balancing career, fame, and family under constant scrutiny, showing that his outlaw image masked significant personal responsibility and difficulty. That Jesse's relationship with Sandra Bullock brought even more public attention. They met in December 2003 and married quietly in July 2005. Their lives merged Hollywood glamour with Jesse's gritty motorcycle world, creating a high-profile but delicate balance. Bullock embraced the children from Jesse's previous marriages, navigating both love and responsibility. However, in 2010, a scandal erupted when a 2004 photo of Jesse in Nazi regalia resurfaced, resulting in public humiliation and a widely publicized divorce. This period marked a turning point in Jesse's life, showing how quickly fame, personal choices, and media scrutiny could collide, reshaping his public image and personal life simultaneously. Despite personal turmoil, Jesse's entrepreneurial spirit remained strong. West Coast choppers faced significant financial challenges. Each bike often sold for less than a production cost. The workshop operated at a loss, but merchandise, licensing, and branding kept the empire afloat. In 2010, a major lawsuit from Fortune Fashions Industries threatened his apparel business, claiming he had unfairly profited from partnerships. After a lengthy legal battle, Jesse won, solidifying the merchandise side of his empire. The balance between creative passion and financial strategy demonstrated that his success relied not only on mechanical skill, but on a shrewd understanding of business, branding, and market appeal. Jesse James' life is a story of contrasts: genius and chaos, craft and destruction, public fame and private struggle. From the garage in Riverside to international television fame, his journey reflects persistence, creativity, and risk-taking. His motorcycles, television appearances, and merchandise all contributed to a brand that became larger than the man himself. Even when West Coast Choppers closed in 2010, the legacy continued through branding, licensing, and cultural impact. He showed that success is rarely straightforward. It requires sacrifice, resilience, and a willingness to push boundaries, whether in art, business, or personal life. Ultimately, Jesse James' story illustrates the power of vision and determination. He transformed childhood curiosity into a career that blended art, mechanics, and media savvy. His life reminds us that talent alone is not enough. Persistence, risk-taking, and an understanding of audience and brand are essential. While his personal life was tumultuous, his professional achievements have left a lasting impact on motorcycle culture and popular media. From his first mini bike to West Coast Chopper's global recognition, Jesse's journey proves that creativity and chaos, when combined with ambition, can shape a legacy that continues to inspire, challenge, and captivate audiences around the world. Imagine being born with a name that carries danger before you even take your first breath. Jesse James arrived in Linwood, California, on April 19, 1969, carrying the legend of the outlaw Jesse James from the 1800s. People were fascinated, wondering if he truly shared a family connection to the train-robbing outlaw. While no proof ever surfaced, Jesse embraced the name, letting it shape his identity and fuel his confidence. His childhood in Riverside was full of noise, metal, and discovery. After his parents' separation, Jesse and his sister moved in with their father, whose warehouse overflowed with motorcycle parts and